Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. I did say that this summer transfer window would be amazing, and it has already been amazing, and it's going to get better. Szoboszlai fighting out Liverpool and Newcastle to sign this Hungarian superstar. I think he's got the potential to be absolutely incredible, absolutely fantastic. Aston Villa in advanced talks for Pau Torres. What a signing that would be for Aston Villa. Harry Kane very much still on the agenda for Bayern Munich. Will that happen? What does that mean for Spurs, who've obviously just announced James Maddison? And Arsenal are not finished in this transfer window. They've got Declan Rice, they've got Havertz, they're going to get Timber, and they want another midfielder. What are Arsenal doing? They're trying to win the bloody league. They're trying to win the bloody league. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with Liverpool. We've not spoken about them for quite a while. Look, this story is coming in from The Athletic. It's coming in from a few sources, and effectively they're saying that Szoboszlai, who's at Leipzig at the moment, Hungarian attacking midfielder, is favourite to go to Liverpool, and Liverpool are very interested. Newcastle have been linked to him as well. I think whoever gets Szoboszlai, and I'm probably not pronouncing his name properly, gets a really exciting player. At Leipzig, Hungarian attacking midfielder, just over 6 foot, only 22. He is exactly the sort of player that needs to go and play in the Premier League under a good manager, in a good environment, and I think he will get better and better and better. And as much as it pains me to say it, the best place for him to go is probably Jurgen Klopp, who is fantastic at grabbing these types of players and turning them into absolute superstars. So, look, the interesting thing about this is because he's not been linked to Manchester United, well, he's not been linked to Man United. I don't know the ins and outs of his contract, but apparently he's got a release clause of £60 million that runs out tomorrow evening. So it runs out at the end of June. How interesting is that? Because I think for £60 million, you're probably paying a little bit too much anyway. Does that mean we'll get a deal done? Well, you know, if you're Liverpool or Newcastle and that release clause disappears, effectively Leipzig might want a little bit more money, and you can't definitely get him for 60. So it's one of those, do you jump or wait? Do you try and negotiate the price down from 60, knowing that you can get him for 60 now, but on Monday they might say they want 70 and you've got to negotiate down to 60 anyway? So leave that to the negotiators, but I think he's a really, really exciting player, and I think it's a very exciting deal if he comes to the Premier League. Will it be Newcastle? Will it be Liverpool? Bit of a blow for Liverpool, actually, because Manu Kone, playing in the under-21s for France, apparently he's got injured and he's gone off with crutches, so that could be a serious injury there. Thuram, we expected that to have happened by now. There is the under-21s tournament going on at the moment, and I think that is obviously having an impact on some deals. I'm quite surprised that Liverpool have only signed McAllister, because they're very well organised when it comes to transfers, when they know what they want. I mean, Liverpool fans will say we're not very organised and we don't buy people, but when they know they want players, they tend to be quite well organised. So I feel that Thuram will happen probably after this tournament now. But Szoboszlai certainly one to keep an eye on there. Don't rule Newcastle out, but the confidence is growing that he will be a Premier League player. Keep an eye on that one. Just on Harry Kane, this is a big deal for the Premier League. Harry Kane leaving the Premier League. He's on track to be the Premier League's all-time top scorer, beating Alan Shearer's record. He can't do that in the Bundesliga. And Bayern Munich are expected to go to 80 million. They offered 60, it got rejected. They're expected to go to 80. And it gets to the point there where I think a Spurs fan would say, look, Harry Kane's a legend. He's always going to be a legend, but he's also going to be out of contract in a year and we get no money for him. Will Harry Kane make a difference to us next season? Yes, he will. But will he make you win the league? Will he make you get into the Champions League? Will he make you win a trophy? No, he won't. So actually, you're just keeping Harry Kane for another year to lose him for nothing. I think it's time to let Harry Kane go. I think Spurs will do a deal with Bayern. It's whether Harry Kane will do a deal with Bayern himself. Apparently he's interested in it, so keep an eye on that. There are some mad rumours about Premier League moves. All I'm going to say is, if he was going to stay in the Premier League, I think he'd go to Chelsea. That's all I'm going to say. I've always said Chelsea, as soon as they got Pochettino, Harry Kane makes the most sense. How you do that deal, and I think Chelsea would do it, but I don't think Spurs would, but Bayern probably makes the most sense if he wants to move. Well, I'm going to talk about Arsenal, but I want to just talk about Aston Villa. We talk about the top six, the traditional top six, the new top six. Sometimes Spurs are in it, sometimes Newcastle are in it. We do need to talk about other clubs, and I think the ambition of Aston Villa is something to be applauded. I think they showed ambition last year under Gerrard. They just had the wrong manager. Under Emery, they've got their Thursday night football, European football. They had a fantastic season under Emery, and you're watching that Villa side and you're going, what are they going to do? They've brought Yuri Tillemans in. It gives them more depth. That, I think that's a good signing for Aston Villa. They're now looking at Pau Torres, a player that Man United have looked at, Arsenal have looked at, Barcelona have looked at. No one's ever done the deal, and it looks like Aston Villa are going to do that deal. Now, Pau Torres, for me, is a player that I don't think he'd be out of place at someone like Newcastle. I don't think he'd be out of place at Manchester United. I don't think he would. So for Aston Villa to go and do a deal like that, and obviously you've got the Emery connections with Villarreal and La Liga, I think it's a really exciting deal for Aston Villa. I suppose the interesting thing is that Pau Torres is left-footed, and I believe Tyrone Mings is left-footed. I can't say I've analysed Tyrone Mings' game that much, but look, Pau Torres would be a very good signing for Villa. Got to give him a shout out for that. And another club that just gets a massive shout out at the moment is Arsenal. That's football. We're giving credit to those in the transfer window who are doing good business, and I don't think there's a club in the Premier League that's doing better business, more ferocious business, more efficient business, more ambitious business than Arsenal. Absolutely brilliant what they're doing. I mean, look, Havertz for me is a little bit like Man United signing Mason Mount. It's a bit like Kovacic going to Man City. Will they all work? Wouldn't surprise me. Will they be impacted by their bad seasons at Chelsea? Who knows? But I think that you've got three good managers in Ten Hag, Pep Guardiola and Arteta that want these Chelsea players that didn't do well last year. So Havertz is in. I mean, at the very least, he puts quality on their bench. Declan Rice goes straight into that team. The price is right for Arsenal. It's a lot of money, but it's still a very good signing. Timber will give them defensive qualities and cover as well, and improve the quality of their defence. They also want another midfielder. Last night they were linked to Tchouaméni of Real Madrid, Lavia of Southampton, Caicedo. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop for Arsenal. They want another midfielder, and I know why. Xhaka and Partey were their starting two in that midfield. He wants something better. Declan Rice, Lavia, Declan Rice, Tchouaméni. That would be... And look, all Arsenal can do is improve. I'm sure Arsenal fans are still disappointed that they didn't quite win the title, but they were ahead of schedule. You look at that Arsenal side, you go, midfield needs to be improved. We need cover at centre-back. We need cover down the middle. Havertz, Timber, two midfielders. What more can you do? You've just got to go out and prove yourselves there. So it is interesting what Arsenal will do next, because they've spent close to £200 million before we even hit July. I mean, look, I can wax lyrical about this as much as you want to, but the big thing that stands out to me is, one, you're backing your manager, and two, you're doing it really early so that when everybody comes back for pre-season, it's hello to three new faces, let's get to work. I think that's so underrated. Never happens at United. To have your new players back for pre-season from day one, you can't put a price on that. As a manager, I would say that's worth 20 million. That's worth 20 million for me to have those players for 5 weeks before the season even starts. So yeah, look, really, really, really good. I did get into a bit of a spat with Piers Morgan today because he was saying they should go out and spend the money on Victor Osimhen. I do love football, just love it. Transfers was always my thing. If anyone remembers teletext from being at bloody primary school and putting it on and having a look at all the transfers, not just United, I love the transfer window. And it's something that I think, most of us are really knowledgeable about, whether it's through playing Championship Manager or just a love for the transfer window. So when Piers Morgan says go and buy Victor Osimhen, I just say, well, look, there's levels to this game. Arsenal cannot buy Victor Osimhen. Like, they've spent nearly 200 million. They're going to buy a midfielder, and you also want a striker that will cost 130 million pounds. So you're thinking Arsenal are going to spend north of 350 million quid. That's just not going to happen. Even if Arsenal had the money, they can't spend 350 million quid. And then he starts saying we've got loads of players we can sell. Well, I'd love to see the list of players that you're going to sell to raise 150 million quid to buy Victor Osimhen, because that's just not going to happen, isn't it? But look, they'll probably sign Osimhen now, but realistically, I think if Arsenal get another midfielder in, you've got to be very happy, because every team has a limit of what they can spend. And if Arsenal spend about 250 and they get centre-backs, two midfielders, Havertz, that's not too bad based on the quality they've done. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe.